It's a great day. My name is Shay Brown, and welcome to the Happy Entrepreneur Show, the number one late night revenue and business development show in the country, where we're on a mission. And our mission is to inspire. Our mission is to empower. And our mission is to provide you with all of the resources that you need to really execute the big vision you have for the people you were called to serve. And today, this morning, this evening, whatever time you're watching, we have the one and only Derrick Butts, who will be coming on here sharing about sales and scales. But let me first say this. I got a chance to meet him face to face for the first time about 4 or 5 months ago. Had a chance to follow him for about the last 2 or maybe 3 years. The guy's incredible. First, he's a family man. He was just sharing for me that his wife is writing her second book. Isn't that amazing? His second book. Second thing I know about him, he has a heart to give. And he teaches a selling style that allows you to be able to sell without being a sleazy person trying to push an arm twist someone. So I'm going to ask him about that. And then third, he's helping others. He has a program that helps others be bigger. Hopefully get a chance to talk about that. I like that whole term. I think, is it be bigger or bigger you? Which one is it?
Experience bigger.
Experience bigger. Experience bigger. I mean, that's an awesome brand. But anyway, that's who the person is about to come on board. But let me jump right into it if I can. Let me just ask Derrick the very first question, which is, why do people have such a fear of sales? And here's a guy who teaches sales, works with sales, grooms sales. He knows all about sales. Why do people even have a fear of sales, Derrick?
You know, Shay, first off, thanks for having me back and having me with you today. I think the reason why people fear sales is because of this mystery word, 2 letters, and it's no. We hate rejection. To have anybody reject us. And so too oftentimes people associate the answer of no to them when they're really saying no to maybe the product. And so because of the fear of having to hear that, sometimes people avoid it, they squirt around it, they go all different directions instead of serving people and showing the value in something and then just allowing somebody the invitation to take it home, use it, do it, buy it, purchase it, or whatnot.
Take a moment and talk if you can. I love that. About sales, S-A-L-E-S, and scales, S-C-A-L-E-S. And I want you both to listen because that's one of the topics, the keynotes we're talking about. And I want to hear Derrick's definition of those two and how they come together. And you listen because one of the benefits of Derrick is he works with folks who are entrepreneurs, but he also works with organizations that have sales folks. So at the end of the day, you can benefit from this conversation. So lean in. And if you don't see yourself in sales, I'm going to ask him about, is everyone really in sales? Back over to you, Derrick. Sales and scales. Talk about that.
Yeah. So sales, simplest definition I can say is it's a transaction. That's all it is. It's a transaction. Is I have something that you need, want, desire, and you know that you have the other end of it. Sometimes it's the monetary portion. You have to pay for it. Sometimes it's a service. So sales is just a transaction between one, two, or a group of people in an exchange factor. So that's sales. The scales comes in when we want to do it bigger. We want to do it larger. We want to take it to the next level. And so we scale up whatever it is that we do. Now, I'll tell you this, it's hard to ever get to scaling anything if you haven't first learned how to sell something. Because if you don't sell it, that means you're stocking too many things on your shelf. So you got to be able to find your audience, transact with them, and then you can move into scaling it.
The people that are wondering, who is Derrick? Now, Shay gave a quick overview. He said, hey, he's a good guy. He says he knows what he's talking about. But they might think, what's his backstory, Shay? Can he give us a little window into the soul of who is Derrick Butts and what led him down the path that he's at now, which is being a sales expert, making a big difference in the world?
Yeah. So Derrick Butts, you said it earlier, family man. I come from a family. I have an older brother, older sister. Dad was in the military. Mom was an educator. I played sports all through high school. And then I recognized that at 5'10", I was not going to the next level or I had scholarships, but wasn't going to do anything like major on that level. So I took my learning from sports and transferred it into the communication style of life. And I went into education initially. How I got into sales was I wanted to make more money for my family. So I saw an ad that said I could make more money if I took a sales position. I love people. And so people is who really I'm about. And so I went into this sales job in order to get around people. And I did just that. I was able to impact people's life in the automotive industry. And then from that place, just continued to recognize that if I master this craft, so many people are running from it. So what if I could show them how to do it using their personality and a process, and now I could transfer the skill set into the people. So then I started doing that through management in the dealerships. And then I also started my own brand called Assist You to Win, where we just connect with others. We say it this way: we're number one at being number two. We want you to be number one at whatever it is that you do. And we help you to sell what you do, sell yourself, sell the product, sell your story, so that you can ultimately get to that second word, and that scale. So that's who I am. Married, 3 kids, and here we are today, meeting powerful people like yourself, Shay Brown.
Well, I had a chance when I was in Dallas, Texas, to meet your mom and your dad. I believe they were both there at that time. And one of the things that really struck me that I admired about you is, your background in terms of faith. Now, if you're watching right now, you might not be a faith person, and that's okay. You don't have to be a Christian. That's okay. I happen to be one. But if you're watching, you'll still benefit from this. And it's the foundation. And I'd like for you to share maybe one idea that you've learned from your mom or your dad that's helped you not only in business, but be the great leader that you are. I always joke, and I say it so lovingly, but it's so true, that everything I learned in the Pentecostal church from Mother Dear, right? And it all boils down to that. But what's one principle that you took? Now, my favorite, I don't want to lead them too much, is I love the fishing story, by the way. It's one of my favorite Derrick Butts stories. But anyway, you pick which one that you think is applicable in all seriousness.
Yes. So, the fishing story is one of my favorites as well. So, the principle, though, that I learned, and I'll use the fishing story. So, me and my dad would go fishing often. And one of the things when we were in Idaho, that was the last place that we were stationed before my dad retired from the military. We went fly fishing in Idaho. So fly fishing, we put on some pants, got some high boots, went out into the water, and so we went fly fishing. So anybody that knows that it's different styles, different poles, different things that you can do. So you got to have a bait on there in order for you to attract the fish that you want. But fly fishing was about snapping that pole into the water, and it would cause the fish to feel the vibrations, as well as to see that it was on the top portion. You would see a fish come and get it. Well, that's one style of sales. And then my dad, though, he used to like to sit on the banks and just bobber fish, throw out the line, sit there and be patient and just watch the bobber bounce up and down. Different people have different styles. Both ultimately have the same or desired result. Here's the principle I learned. The principle I learned is, if you don't put your pole in the water, you don't put your bait out there, if you don't have the confidence to make yourself visible, what happens is many times the business that is circling around you won't find you because you didn't first go out. What I learned from my parents, especially my mother, was you got to get visible. You got to have confidence. And if you'll have confidence, what will happen is that confidence will be attractive and people will start to come, and naturally you'll be able to serve more of humanity.
You know, that's my favorite story. That's one of my favorite stories that he tells. He has so many, by the way. You're gonna learn that. I believe he's a master storyteller. He does sales truly amazing. But that gift to be able to communicate is it's one of the things that I admire about him. Other than his heart to give, obviously, and his heart to serve. Take a moment there if you can. There's the audience that we have. A lot of them are dualpreneurs, right? They work a full-time job and they're a full-time entrepreneur. And I'd like for you to take a moment and chat with them about having the confidence or the willpower to be able to not maybe leave the job full time, but to be able to do both and balance it. So Shay, what's the question you're asking Derrick? Derrick, how do you balance multiple things at the same time. Some of them have to take care of the kids. Some of them have to take care of a loved one. Some of them have responsibility at the office, and they're still trying to be an entrepreneur. Now, how does this relate to sales? You're probably going to wonder, because first he's going to talk about time management and being able to juggle yourself to be a leader. And then I'm going to ask him to ask, how do you on top to learn a skill like sales so it can help you really build your business? Over to you, Derrick. How do you do time management? I guess is one of the questions.
Yeah. So time management, one of the things that I'll tell you is you know when you have to be where you need to be for your job. So you just have to back up your day and back out your night. I call it the bookshelf concept. Bookshelves all ultimately keep everything together. So what I would tell somebody is wake up 30 minutes earlier than your normal start time. The reason why I say that is most of the times no one's texting you 30 minutes earlier. There's no emails flying off. Most of the times your kids are still asleep. And that dedicated time, concentrated time you put into your idea, into your business, into your plan, so that you can every single day think about where you're headed, where you're going, and the one thing that you're going to do that day, that week, that will help move your business forward. The end of the night, take 30 extra minutes and reward yourself, praise your progress, talk about how good you did, and move and maneuver your plan. Right? We write down where we're headed in ink, and we write down our plans with pencil because we have to sometimes massage the two. Now, what do I do in the middle? I make sure I give my employer everything that they deserve. And the reason why I say that is because one day, if your plan that you're working on your own time comes to fruition, you're going to have employees. So you never want to sow the wrong seed, steal from your employer by not giving them your goodness and greatness, because one day you'll reap that same harvest. So I challenge you to master the level that you're on while you sow seeds to the place that you're going. Time management is so important, and you can do both. You don't have to choose one or the other. You just have to have that productivity principles in place for you to be able to do that.
Yeah, said so well. I love that. Said so well. You know, I had a chance to sit in at a mastermind where I was going to teach, but I was taught. And I was taught by that gentleman on the other side, Derrick Butts, who's a master sales trainer, sales expert. And he's not going to be able to do this justice, but I want him to talk a little bit about just objections. For those folks that are entrepreneurs, he opened up and gave you a little piece of that. But if you're out there and you're having an event, if you're out there and you're looking for someone to come in and teach sales and teach sales principles in a way that is easy to digest and people can use right away, then Derrick Butts is your guy, by the way. So I'm gonna ask him and give him a little grace time, maybe 2 or 3 minutes, and for if he needs that, to kind of frame it around this whole thing about objections. He opened up that way, and I know some of you weren't blown away, like, "Oh my gosh!" You might have to start shouting, but it's so important to what you do, and that whole mindset and a concept that he has can really create that main breakthrough that you need. So Derrick, the question to the audience is clear: is objections, and is there a style or technique that you can share in the time that you have to help put them in the right perspective? Then when you finish doing it, I'm going to ask them how you can connect with him, right? So you lean in now, because that might be the one barrier that's stopping you from really living the life you want and having the business you want. So Derrick, objections and maybe a way that folks can handle those.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I love it. So, we talked about fishing. So here's what I'll first tell you. If the fish don't bite the bait, you're not going to catch the fish. So the first thing I'll tell you about objections, instead of running from them, you need to welcome them. When you have an objection shows up, it really means somebody's interested. Somebody now is keen to what it is that you have. If it goes too smooth, too easy, lots of times they're going to let you off the hook at the end. You don't want that, right? So the first thing I'll tell you is we want to identify. First word is identify the objection, not the statement, but the objection. There's a difference. Second thing we do is we inquire for additional objections. Just because I have an objection come up, I don't rush to answering the objection before I inquire, is there any additional? The two words I use is other than. Other than this, is there anything that will keep us from moving forward? That's how I'm going to inquire to get additional objections to come. Once I've got all the objections out, you got to start to address them. So we isolate the objection. So I'm going to handle each objection one by one so that I can make sure and clearly communicate so we can overcome it so that we can move forward. The fourth thing we're doing is we're going to inform the client. During this stage, I'm asking, is it possible? Can I share something with you? Because I want them to give me permission so that I'm now, as a consultant, I'm not the enemy, not one wins, one loses. We're going to have a win-win situation. And then finally, once I inform them of my answer, I'm going to invite them to move forward. We never address the objection to keep somebody in the same place. We do it so that we can move forward. Here's what I'll say, and I'm going to close it right here, Shay. Speed bumps were never intended for us to stop. They were intended for us just to slow down. And that's what an objection would do.
I love it. You guys are listening to the one and only Derrick Butts. He's talking about sales and scales. And now the question to him obviously is assist you to win. Is that right? Assist you to win.
Yep.
How did that get born? What was the genesis behind you starting that particular company, that organization?
I recognized that people needed oxygen. People needed motivation. People needed somebody to say, it's okay for you to win. I wanted to be a cheerleader. I wanted to be a coach. I wanted to be that motivator for somebody to go to the dreams of their youth and then not allow the things of their present or past to cause them not to dream for their future. So Assist You to Win was birthed that says we are exactly who we say. And that is, we are here to bring you assistance in order for you to win. What's a win to you? You define it. You declare it. We just come alongside to give you principles so that you can get there quicker, faster, and better.
I love it. Assist you to win. He's had sales going on. They both all come together for you to do what? It's his. I mean, this is his brand, not man, but I love it. Experience bigger. Now I want you to think where you are today and what that looks like. I'm going to ask Derrick in a moment to define experience bigger and what does it look like and what does it feel like and why that's a passion of his. He even does mastermind. He does events. Experience bigger. But you at home, take a moment and think about what's bigger look like and mean for you. Derrick, talk about experience bigger, man.
No matter where you are, we always have the word that there's more in the tank. So the bigger comes into play of, I don't want people to settle in their good when great's still available, nor do I want you to experience great when greater's still available. I want you to tap out, give everything you have to wring that washcloth, get everything out of it. So we take two things with experience bigger. Number one, you got to declare that you're going to go big. See, big things is what attracts big money. Big things are what attracts people. Big things are what attract team to something that's big. The second thing is when you decide to go big, you have to decide to grow bigger. Yeah, I can't stay the same if I'm going to get to the goal of a big place. I got to develop myself. I got to have Che Browns in my life. I got to be listening to these late night business show, the number one business late night show. I got to tune into these broadcasts because I get exposed and my education goes on steroids and I get to see people experiencing life on whole new planets. And many times you're going to hear about people doing it with less than you have, which causes you to give up your excuses and go after your dreams. So guess what? You get there because our job is not just to get there for us, but to inspire somebody along the way as well. Experience big.
Inspire someone. I love that. Inspire someone else along the way. Success is a team sport. You can only get so far by yourself. How true is that? You know, Derrick, we have a concept here. One of our segments is today is my January 1st. And today is my January 1st for those folks that are hearing for the first time. And for those folks that are back, welcome back, family. Welcome back. It represents a do-over. It represents a fresh start. Today is my January 1st means that your past no longer equals your future, that no matter where you are in life, you don't have to wait till December 31st at 11:59 p.m. to make a decision. that it can start in the present moment. So the question I have for Derrick, and they're listening to him saying, man, this guy's got it going on. Maybe he's never been rocked in his life. Maybe he's never had a setback in his life. Maybe he's never got hit with the punch that he never saw coming. We don't know. But take a moment, if you would, Derrick. And when you hear the words, today is my January 1st, one, what does it mean to you? And two, do you mind sharing maybe a time when things didn't go the way you wanted them to? And then what was one of the principles you used to turn it around that we the audience, we all can benefit? And you, the audience, you all lean in now. Lean in.
You know, I was scattered even in my company, Assist You to Win, to the place that when COVID happened, I wanted to throw it all in the towel. The motivator, the encourager, the giver of life got to a place that I didn't feel, didn't sense, didn't experience that, to the place I wanted to give it all up. How do you give it up when you tattooed it on your arm? How do you give it up when people are looking for you? How do you give it up when everything that you've done is branded yourself around this experience? Well, you know what I did is I had to get quiet and allow the words that I spoke out. I had to let those words be a boomerang to speak back. And so I had to practice what I preach, because it's easier to preach it than it is to live it. And when I decided to get up off the mat, dry my tears, get myself together, what I understood even more then, that winning is not a destination. Winning is just a part of our DNA. So when I hear January 1st now, I used to hear it from an event or from a place of failure then. I now hear January 1st of when I go to sleep, it's December 31st. When I wake up, it's January 1st. Every single day, I have to let go of what my good was yesterday as well as my bad yesterday. And I have to wake up with expectancy that today I have the ability to create the future that I desire, doing something in my present, which is my January 1st.
I love it. Today is your January 1st. Isn't that encouraging? Isn't that inspiring? Derrick, two questions now. One, what are you up to these days for folks that are listening and watching? What do you have going on? Number two, how can they best connect with you? And if you're out there listening right now, get your paper, get your pen, or get your phone out. I'm going to encourage you to connect. And whatever he has going on, check it out. Over to you, Derrick.
Man, thank you. So, I just bought into a dealership, Mike Terry CDJR in Hillsboro, Texas. I wanted to refresh my story even in sales. And so I had that awesome opportunity to lead a sales team as the general manager of the dealership. And so that's one of the things that I'm doing. And then the second project that we have is what we call Sales Tag University, Sales Tag Training and Growth University. This program is our framework around sales, where we teach you how to have the right mindset, come clear with your goals, how to attract your ideal avatar or client, and then how to have closing conversations to turn your client contacts into clients, which ultimately turns into monetization for you and your business. And so it's an entire university. So those are the two projects that we're doing right now, raising up people so that whatever it is that you do, you can sell more, so you can scale faster. And when you do, you get to live out your why and not just focus on your what.
And did you give folks a website to connect with you? Did I miss that?
Oh,
a website or a way they can connect with you?
Yeah, assistyouTowin.com. It's ASSIST, the letter U, the number 2, WIN.com. We're on all social media platforms, same thing, Assist You to Win, Derrick Butts. Man, we'll be excited for you to click a like button, follow us, listen to our content, or even join us at some of our live events that we have from time to time.
Join the Sales Tag University. Go over to assistyouTowin.com. Go over there now and follow the instructions. I will share this from the bottom of my heart. You won't go wrong. It'll be one of the wisest decisions you've made for yourself and for those people you were called to serve. So let me first say, Derrick, thanks a lot. I appreciate you being here on the Happy Entrepreneur Show. I know it's your second rodeo. I can't wait to have a third rodeo, man. I can't wait to see you again and have eye-to-eye contact, man. That's just so amazing. No matter how much we use the power of these fiber optic lines to connect, and it's cool and to see you through the camera, but something about being in person, I don't think I ever go out of style as long as I'm alive. I'd like for you to close out with a question. And the question is, you know, when your day comes, and my day and all our days will come at some point, right? Father Time is undefeated, and you receive your heavenly wings. What do you want people to remember about Derrick Butts?
You know, I want people to remember that he did everything that he did from a pure heart with the person in mind. And he gave us the tools that it takes for us to continue to run the race that he inspired us to uncover, discover, and to go after. I want people to just flat out win at life. That's what I want.
Win at life. And here's the good news. He will assist you to win at life. You know, I love the saying. It's so true. But big dreams require a great team. So put the great team, the one and only, assist you to win on your team. With that being said, my name, by the way, is Shay Brown, the Happy Entrepreneur. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being here. We appreciate all your support. I want you to know that you're amazing. And yes, indeed, you're awesome. And for you, as you're listening, as you're watching, no matter where you are in the world, your best is still yet to come. Your best is still yet to come. Your best is yet to come. Thanks a lot, Derrick. I appreciate you, man. God bless. Can't wait to see you and the family again soon. We're out. Peace, everyone.